Well, aloha kakahiaka, everyone. I'm so glad to be here. I'm Peter Kay, and you are with us on the Aloha Friday Hawaii Real Estate Show. Today is April 26, 2024, and we are live. We're live. If you're not live, there is going to be some, we use YouTube chapters, so you can kind of click forward to wherever you'd like to go in the show. Let me give you a quick overview of what we have in store for you today. E komo mai means welcome. Come inside, welcome. We're gonna do a quick news update for you. Just tell you kind of what's hot and what's happening with Hawaii news. Going to go over market updates, all of the major islands, Maui, Oahu, well, almost all the major islands, Maui, Big Island, and Oahu. And then we're gonna talk about your questions. We got some stuff to talk about that have been posed, which are very interesting. We're gonna go over some diamonds and deals, which is some really cool properties that our friends have decided that they want to highlight, and then we're gonna end with some motivational thoughts. That's our show for today. And so for what we're gonna do right now is we need to warm up these microphones. It's gonna be kind of a wild day today, folks. Well, there there you go. It'll be that wild because Ashley's not at her desk. But hey. Sorry about that. Actually, I was just telling everybody it is going to be a wild day today because let me go live on Instagram. It's going to be a wild day today because we have some sort of systemic intermittent internet problems. People are coming in and out. Heidi's got, before the show started, Heidi kind of got bounced around like a few times. Dylan was with us. But he got disconnected, and I know he's trying to reconnect now. So we're going to be in for a wild ride. And the show must go on, so we're just going to have some fun. And while we're doing it, let's warm up. Coffee. Heidi. What's the coffee, Heidi? Give us the update. How's Maui doing? How are you doing? What's the coffee? How's the morning? So Heidi can't hear me. She's gonna fall out. Okay. What about you? We'll just move on. And Heidi's blinking. You can't hear me though, can you? Can you hear me, Ashley?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good. Heidi, can you hear me? I guess not. Heidi can't hear me. She cannot hear. Okay. All right. So Ashley, why don't you go and I'll send Heidi a direct message to let her know. Go ahead. You're hailing from Oahu? What's happening?
I have a morning smoothie.
Morning smoothie. Give her the morning smoothie.
The weather is so fickle. I like it because I have to get my sprinkler systems fixed at the house so my grass does not burn here come summer. So I'm liking this intermittent rain. It's refreshing. The sunrises and sunsets have been extra lovely. We actually did Earth Day on Monday, and there was guests from the show and part of your group, Peter, that had joined us. And that was so awesome to just see them in person. And they helped us clean up the Aloha boat harbor. So that was exciting. And I really appreciated, them coming and joining.
Oh, that's awesome. I did not know about that. That's terrific. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. It was so cool to meet them. I should have sent you a picture. You know what? I'll send you a picture. And if you get time, between doing all of the magic that you do in the show, you can share it if you want. And I'm sorry I didn't do this sooner.
That's okay. I'll do the best that I possibly can. Dylan looks like he's frozen. Heidi is back. Heidi, what's the coffee today? What's going on?
Well, I'm drinking my Kanapali coffee. I went to Island Press Coffee this morning, which is an awesome local coffee shop here. And yeah, just enjoying the morning. It's been cool. It's been nice out and just happy to be here and see everybody again.
Well, we are happy to see you. There's some other technical there is a bunch of stuff going on technically because I did get a message from StreamYard is the service that we're using here, and StreamYard said, hey, we're having a hard time connecting into Facebook, so we may not even be showing the folks on Facebook. I'm not sure. I'm going to check, but while I check, Dylan is back. He is reconnected. What's going on? What's happening on the Big Island? What's the Aloha shirt? How are you doing, Dylan?
Thank goodness for technology, because what I think my internet connection is super unstable right now, is I turned on the hotspot on my phone. So now I'm running internet off of my cellular network, which seems like is working pretty well. So always got to have a backup plan, right? When the show must go on. So I think we're doing okay at the moment. And this is living in Hawaii. It's been my go-to the last couple of months, and super cool announcement. Probably next show, I will be wearing an Aloha shirt that has been custom made by Living in Hawaii for our team, and it has our logo all over it, incorporated with actual Lauhala leaves. So the logo is the Lauhala mat that's woven together, and then it's got the what the Lauhala leaves look like prior to them being turned into mats and other things. So I think we might be the first real estate operation in America with our own clothing line. So that'll be on probably next show.
Man, I can't. That's gonna be a big one. I think we need to have a special show just for that, maybe, Dylan, you know, just a special show for the rollout.
Ooh, we should
The
do
rollout.
online,
That would be cool.
an online fashion show, maybe. You know, we could do a
Oh
live
man, now we're
online
talking.
fashion show.
Now you're talking. Now you're talking. Now you are talking. That sounds like a blast. That sounds like a blast.
I just sent you the
All right.
photo.
Okay, thanks. I will see if I could, hopefully, if I could, you know, while ignore the wizard behind the curtain, and we'll see what we can make that happen. I'm actually checking to see if our Facebook page. Yeah, see our Facebook page. Oh no, okay, it's live. It looks like it's live. Seems like it. Hopefully, okay, good. Let me just do a really quick. If I may do this moment of unprofessionalism here. If I could, I can't do it. I can't think that fast. Okay, we're gonna move on. We are going to move on. Hey, by the way, if you're with us, let us know. We have a bunch of people that have connected. We're having some technical difficulties. Give us a shout out. Let us know where who you are and where you're from. Just say hello so we know what's going on. Why don't we do this? Let's move on and get some news out of the way over here. I've got some fun stories that I try to make it entertaining as much as I can. Let's talk about some news. So a couple of things going on is a big. A major a major long illegal tourist attraction called the Haiku Stairs, also aka the Stairway to Heaven, is finally being closed. Let me give you all a picture of this. I was able to find a really cool one. So this is a view. So what the for those of you that don't know, the Haiku Stairs, aka Stairway to Heaven, was originally built for utility purposes, I believe, power lines or things of that nature, to maintain the power lines that were going over the mountain. But you can look at this view; it's absolutely astounding. It's called Stairway to Heaven for good reason. You can see we're at the summit here. Looks pretty darn scary for me. Here, the stairs were getting rickety. It was never an official place where people would go, and so people, of course, would break through the security fence and kind of climb the stairs anyway. It was one of the most well-known, popular, illegal things that everybody did. It was almost as bad as fireworks on the 4th here in Hawaii. So anyway, unfortunately, for better or for worse, the Haiku Stairs, we are going to bid aloha to the Haiku Stairs. It is done. Good news, Waikiki, safe and sound again. They have been, apparently, the statistics are showing that Waikiki is sort of as safe as it ever was. There was a resident who actually mentioned that. They've been going through what they're calling a safe and sound program. It's a lot of complex, hard work being done by law enforcement, the community, and a bunch of people that has made Waikiki a good, safe place again. Major, crimes, violent crimes, everything is way down significantly. And again, one of the residents said, "Hey, Waikiki feels like it did in the old days, safer than ever," which is wonderful. It's a great thing because Waikiki is a great place. Waikiki should be almost as safe and fun as going down Main Street in Disneyland. Not quite so phony, but it should be it should feel that fun and that safe. Okay. Legislation going on for counties. Counties deciding short-term vacation rentals. Looks like it's going to become law if it hasn't been signed in already. Looks like the law that's being passed, and I'm kind of really want to hear from our experts here, Dylan and Heidi and Ashley, about if they've heard about this and what they think the consequence might be. Looks like what they're trying to do is to set it up so that the individual counties, i.e. the islands, will be able to fully decide how they want to treat short-term vacation rentals. I believe it's a little bit of a sort of a transfer of power, if you will, more power to the counties, less power to the state on how they're going to handle short-term vacation rentals. I thought that was the case already, but it must be more that they're increasing. So I thought that was kind of interesting and worth mentioning. Oprock, Oprah and the Rock. I coined that term myself. They're Oprah and the Rock. They famously pledged $10 million for the wildfires in Lahaina, and they raised 60. So you have to give them credit. And I just want to give a little shout out, a little credit where credit is due. Claiming you're going to raise 10 or setting a goal of 10 and hitting 60. That's a good thing. Good for you. All right, and then my favorite project I like to whine and complain about is the Honolulu Rail. So interesting. There's a quick story about that. The Honolulu Rail project. Average daily ridership is even lower than last year. 3,000 people ride the rail each day. Now you might think, is that a big number? Is that a small number? Well, it's a number, right? Here's the fun part. The original ridership estimates, when they made the environmental impact statement, the original ridership estimates were 116,000 people a day. Now, we don't have the full line. It's not completely built out, but those were the original estimates. Now, the fun I like to have with this project that I hate is I like to look at the math, right? So let's do this. 3,000 people ride this thing a day. Okay, great. And so far the cost has been $10 billion with a B. So if you do the math, how much are we paying? How much is it costing per person, per rider, per active rider to build the rail? $3,250,000 per person. 3 million. So you could buy an extremely awesome home, a mansion for each one of these 3,000 people right next to where they work, so they wouldn't have to take the rail, and it would be cheaper. So that's kind of always a fun thing. Sorry for the rant. It's my favorite project to rant about, and that's that. Finally, another project I thought was another story I caught, which I thought was interesting, was that doctors are urging lawmakers to get rid of the general excise tax, what you might call the sales tax on healthcare. And what are they saying? Well, they're saying that the excise tax, on top of all the rising costs, the general excise tax is killing their businesses. Yeah, right. For the rest of us too, it's killing everybody. I thought that was interesting. Not just doctors. Doctors, you're finally getting the hang of it. Yes, the general excise tax is long story. The general excise tax is really a regressive tax. It's much more than the 4% that we think that we're paying. We're paying a much higher tax. Long story. I'm not going to get into it. Finally, the weather. It's going to be partly cloudy looks like it's going to be partly cloudy across the whole week, with temperatures in the mid 70s. Ashley's comment about the weather. I hope it's been pretty good weather. We'll see how it all goes. All right. I think we've had enough. Let's get into, let's see, market updates. That's what we need to get into right now, is market updates. So let's talk about that. Why don't we, let's see. Oh, let's bring Heidi back in. There she is. Okay, Heidi, why don't we do you first, because I think your connection is the least stable. Give us the update on Maui. What's happening with the? Oh, wait. First, we got to say hello to our friends. First of all, we had Kelly. Kelly, welcome back. Kelly is one of our original members of the Islander Ohana. Welcome back, Kelly. Great to see you. Kelly lives on the Big Island. Bob Carl's back. Bob, thank you for coming back. It's great to see you here from the Hawaii Peninsula. We're coming through 5x5 on YouTube. All right. Thank you, Bob. And Kinaya, another Islander Ohana member. Aloha from Austin, Texas. Welcome back, Kinaya. Great. Always great to have you here with us. And Judy is loving life from South Kona. Yeah, Judy, way to go, girl. You go. Excellent. Hey, folks, if you've joined us, make sure you give us a shout out. I'd love to know where you're from, and love to know that you're here. All right. With that being said, Heidi, give us the Maui update. What's going on with Maui's market?
Sure. Well, we're at April 26th, 2024, so we're not quite through April. But so far on Maui.
Whoops. Okay. Well, we're going to move on and come back to Heidi in a moment. As I told you folks, today's a strange day. There's sunspot activity, alien life forms. I'm not too sure what it is, but I'm glad that NYC is here with us. Aloha from Manhattan. Hope things are well there in Manhattan. Thank you for joining us. Dylan, why don't we go with the Big Island update? Tell us what's going on the Big Island.
Well, I think it's also the rain. In Kona, it never rains. So whenever it rains, the internet loses its mind. So I think that's probably something that's affecting us over here on the Big Island. But I also wanted to propose a better idea than building everybody a house. We could have just bought everybody a helicopter and then just helicoptered everybody around with a pilot for $3 million, right? Instead of the rail. So that's even more practical than building everybody new houses.
Even more practical. Stay where you live. We're just going to helicopter you in for less.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I love it. Thanks.
But so Big Island market, it looks like the headline is going to be, we are going to do more than 400 sales this month. We're at 396 and we have about 4 days left in the month. So we're definitely going to crack 400. The last time we were at 400 was August of last year. So it's been pretty slow historically. 400 to 500 is kind of the historical norm pre-COVID. So it looks like things are picking up a little bit. But as I mentioned, every show, I'm a broken record. The inventory is not recovering. I mean, we're still less than 2,000 units on the market. And so if sales continue to pick up, it's going to just continue to drive prices and competition on the buy side. And so really, you don't really want to wait, because I think people are getting over the high interest rate environment. Interest rates actually are going up. They're not going down. And people are coming back into the market and continuing to buy. So interesting. That's the biggest interesting data point. But we are still very low in terms of, since I don't know if Heidi's going to come back on, but I was looking at the statewide data this week, and an interesting thing about Maui is in the condo market on Maui, we're above 6 months of inventory for the first time in a very, very long time, which means it's technically in a buyer's market. And on the Big Island, for example, it's like 4 months of inventory on the residential side and less than 3 on the condo side. And so it's a much lower inventory environment here than on Maui. So I'm not sure what's happening on Oahu, but we haven't been above 6 months of inventory in a very, very long time. And just to define that means if no more sales happened today, based on the number of sales that are happening every month, how many months would it take you to run out of all properties on the market? It's a measure of the real estate market. Anything below 6 months is a seller's market. Anything above 6 months is a buyer's market. And we haven't been in a technical buyer's market really since 2020. So we'll see what happens with that. But Maui's the first, Maui residential market. Heidi, I was just mentioning as you were off, the Maui condo market is above 6 months of inventory, which is the first time in a long time.
Yeah, that is true.
We are going to keep pushing on. Thank you. We're going to keep pushing on with Heidi. Heidi, go for it. And look, Heidi, if you get disconnected, just try to make a mental note of what you said last. So when you get reconnected, because we're going to push through with you, Heidi. One way or by hook or by crook, we're going to get that darn Maui report going. Go, Heidi. Thank you. Welcome back.
Just continuing on what Dylan said. Yeah, the inventory of Maui condos has been growing. It's about 6.4 months of inventory for first quarter. What I'm seeing is the nicest properties, the best properties are still selling at premium prices, kind of breaking highs in some cases. But there's also some areas of the condo market where buyers are really able to negotiate. And it's kind of a fun time to be a buyer because you do have a few more options these days, but things are still moving, especially good properties. And of note, I mean, just in April, we had some significant sales. There were 5 sales over $10 million for condos at McKenna Beach Club and at the Montage in Kapalua. And also the previous month, in March, we had quite a few closings in Wailea at a new development called Aloha, and that pushed for that month the median price of a condo up to $1.3 million. So far this month, the median condo price of what sold just so far in April is at $962. Single family homes in Maui County so far in April, 1.3, which is consistent to pretty much first quarter. It looks like our number of sales and dollar volume is roughly staying about the same as 2023. So we're just plugging along. I mean, it's not slowing any further. About 37% of all homes being sold are cash transactions, and about 56% of condos being sold are cash transactions. And 87% of homes are selling at or above list price right now.
So Heidi, what's the headline on the market? If you had to kind of give it and if you need to break out 2 headlines, one for condos and one for single family homes, that's fine. But what's the headline? It's like, okay, Heidi, what's the market?
It's shifting from more a seller's market, that we saw a couple years ago, to a more balanced market where buyers and sellers have more equal leverage. But I mean, one of the takeaways is if you're looking for that cream puff property, you know, one of the best locations, one of the nicest properties on the market, buyers are stepping up and picking and choosing the best properties.
Buyers are picking and choosing, stepping up they're stepping up and choosing the best properties. The market's getting more of a balance, which is kind of what coincides with what Dylan is saying. We're moving to a little bit more of a, like you said, a balanced market. Ashley, give us the update. Before we do that, I want to give a quick shout out to Barbara, who said hello. Barbara, welcome back again. Barbara, great to see you. You all look and sound good here in Idaho. Wonderful. Thank you for letting us know. Thank you, Barbara. Barbara, you look and sound good as well from us in Hawaii. So God bless. Thank you. And Tom is with us. Tom is another member of the Islander Ohana. Aloha on this beautiful day from the Big Island. Yes. Awesome. Thank you all for saying, hey, by the way, if you join us, give us a shout out. Let us know where you're from. We'd like to know who's here. And it's kind of cool to know where people are from and participating. So Ashley, give us the update. What's the Oahu market looking like? And how does it kind of fit in with the things that you've been hearing from Heidi and from Dylan?
Yeah, I always love hearing all the different statistics with each island. It's fascinating how they each have their own sort of economy, so to speak. Our sales so far for April, which again, Dylan's point only has a few days left, currently at 2024, 593 sales for the year 2024. I wanted to just give a comparison. So in 2023 for April, there was 425 sales. 2022, there was 1,059 sales. 2021 was 1,064 sales. 2020, 614 sales. In 2019, 816 sales. So I always like to go to 2019. I feel like that was the pre-COVID anomalies of our real estate market. And that was 816 houses sold. And then 2024, we're at 593 houses sold. So I feel like we still have a lot more room to grow, and we still have a housing shortage issue here with the amount of inventory we have. On Oahu, we still only have 3.6 months of inventory. So we're still very much in a seller's market, but things are not necessarily moving super fast. If it's below 1.2 million, it's still going very quickly. We're still seeing houses that are even slightly overpriced if it has all of the boxes that people need, like a fenced-in yard, a view, a covered lanai space, a garage, solar, maybe an Ohana suite. Those things are flying off the market. If you don't have those and you're priced too high, they will sit. But in 2023, our month's inventory was 2.9. So we do see a little bit more, of a supply, which is great. The sales price has not changed. The median since we've last really spoke, it's still around 500,000 for condos. And for single family homes, it's at $1,080,000 roughly. So we're right at what we were in November 2023, just about. So we're not seeing a huge amount of influx there. I do agree with Dylan. They did have a market interest rate. The interest rates did hike a little bit. The Feds did say come July, it might go up more. I don't know if the interest rates will follow suit with the Fed rate, but the interest rates did go up a little bit this past week. So like even my personal buyers had to pull back on going to the top of their budget and being a bit more reserved. That's my market update.
Thank you for that market update. Hey, I want to give a quick shout outs to people who are participating. Thank you all. Tim Kim says, "Hey, mahalo for he later correct the video that Dylan did on why Hawaii doesn't have snakes. Way to go, Dylan. Very interesting. We then need stiffer penalties here in Florida. Florida not only has the Burmese python, we now have monkeys too. Monkeys, pythons. That's Florida, man. That's Florida. Tim, you're in the Everglades, man. That's like native over there. I would think. Sue says hello. Hey, Sue, how's it? Aloha from a very cold Southern California. How cold is it, Sue? I'm curious. I didn't think that it was possible for Southern California to be very cold. What is that temperature, Sue? I'm curious. Tom's got an interesting comment here. He says, "Hey, there seems to be a lot of clearing lots and building going on in Hawaiian Paradise Park." Now, Tom, I got to tell you, that's really, really funny. And the reason why it's funny is because I did own a home right near there in the in Pahoa, and I owned that home in 1992. And back in 1992, that common was every bit as relevant in Hawaiian Paradise Park. There was lots of clearing lots and lots of building going on in Hawaiian Paradise Park. There was always caterpillars, big cats clearing out lots. That has not changed. That's a hell of a lot of inventory in Hawaiian Paradise Park.
It's only one of the only places in the state really where you can still get a piece of land for an affordable price and then build a spec house on it and sell it. So there's a lot of investors and builders on the island that are doing that. But like you said, Peter, that's been the case for the last 30 years. But we need it now more than ever because of how low inventory is. But you can get a new build there for $400,000 to $500,000, right? Where can you do that in Hawaii? Get a brand new, beautiful home on an acre, not a tiny lot, like on an acre. So
still
you'll be on catch.
Yeah. It's on. So HPP, Hawaiian Paradise Park for short. So HPP, those lots are still an acre. They were an acre 30 years ago too. They're acre lots still.
That'll never change. Those are zoned Ag 1, so you can't subdivide them any smaller.
Oh, they're okay. So you can't Oh wow. So. So if you now it is, I'm sure it's not quite the wild west it was when I was there, Dylan, in 92. Is there still a 2-lane highway that goes out there, or have they expanded that highway to 3 lanes? What's that like? That was as dangerous as all hell.
There are portions of it that are 2 lanes going each way now. So there's been a lot of improvements.
Oh, 2 lanes each way. Okay.
Yeah, it was a very dangerous road. They put some roundabouts in, so the big intersections have roundabouts, and people aren't doing left turns with people coming 55 at them. So they made a lot of improvements out there. But that is also where the house was built on the wrong lot, right? So
it's also where the house was built, the famous home built on the wrong lot. But that's got nothing to do with HPP. That's just got to do with like stupidity, basically.
Not doing their due diligence. Yes.
People not being so smart. But interesting, great little story, backstory there. Thank you, Tom, for mentioning that. That let us do a little trip down memory lane there. Sue says the high is 60 today. Okay, that is cold. That's cold for Southern California. Be cold for Hawaii too. Awesome. All right, let's move on. Next slide, please. Hey, look, folks, if you're, how did you get here? How did you find out about us? Did you get here through the newsletter? Because you need to get on that newsletter so you'll always be notified. Go to livinginhawaii.com. A box will pop up. You pop in your email address. Of course, you could always unsubscribe. You'll always get invitations to every show. We have content going out every week, new videos, all kinds of stuff. There's also a free email course that you get signed up for called To Live in Hawaii, which is it's a long one. It's like there's 20 episodes that come out like once every other week, and that will walk you through all the issues that are important to living in Hawaii. So you want to check that out and get on that list. All right. I came across an interesting question, gang. And this one was a kind of a fun one, and I think it'd be kind of a cool topic to discuss. So this came from Isaac in Alabama, and he said, "Will I ever be able to leave? I love to travel, but I think that once I reach paradise, I'll never want to see anything else. Is this the case?" ? So I thought that was kind of interesting because this is and I put in parenthesis here, island fever. So we have a phenomenon here known as island fever, which is the opposite, which is that people like, I got to get off of this rock. I got to go somewhere. I got to get out of here. It's driving me crazy. And Isaac asked the opposite. Will I ever be able to leave? So I'm really curious. I want to hear from, this is going to be kind of fun because we're going to get a local perspective from Dylan, who was born and raised here, versus Ashley and Heidi and myself, who are transplants. So I'd like to hear Heidi, because you've got the unstable connection. Why don't you tell us first, what's your feeling now? You've been here for a long time now. I believe 12, 13 years, something like that. You've been here for a while, or more. What's your feel, Heidi? Do you get island fever where you have to get off the rock, or do you feel like, you know what, I'll go to the mainland because I have to, but I really don't want to? What's your perspective, Heidi?
I enjoy traveling. I mean, at least a few times a year, but I never feel like, I just have to get out of here.
All right. Well, that was she said the important piece. She said the important piece. Have to get out of here. What about you, Ashley? What's your whole take here? You've been here for a long time, since you were very young, since you were 2. So, what's your take?
I've been here pretty much my entire adult life on my own. So I don't have family here, never have. And everyone's from the Northeast coast in my life. And I think this has a lot to do with personality, right? Because I was very whimsical and I like to sort of go with the flow of things in life. I don't see myself ever leaving. I do have anxiety on the thought. I share both. I get island fever and I can't imagine ever leaving. So I need to get off the rock periodically. I forget I need to. And then all of a sudden, I'll be like, I just need to go. I just need to go somewhere. I don't care. I just need to go to a conference. I need to go travel. Like I do get, and it's weird. And I feel claustrophobic for a minute. And then I go. And then I can't wait to get back. I land and I'm like, oh, this is home. Like the smell, the moist, everything about it is just so perfect. It's not too humid. It's not too hot. And just the smells and the people, it just feels so at home. So the idea of ever like leaving if my daughter goes to college and I want to ever follow her when I get older, I have anxiety of not coming back. So for me, both.
Wow, that's a very, very interesting and complex explanation. Thank you, Ashton. That's very, very deep and rich. Want to give a quick shout out to Heather, who is also a member of the Islander Ohana. Heather, welcome back. Listening in from Honolulu. Happy Aloha Friday. Excellent. Thank you, Heather, for checking in with us. Okay, Dylan, I want to hear the local perspective. Again, locals will, by local, I mean you were born here. You were born and raised here, and in that sense, local. They're all over the map. Where are you on this map of Hawaii island fever? Got to travel, got to leave, got to stay. Where do you land?
There's definitely a wide spectrum on this because I have, especially at my age, I have a lot of friends that are having children that are coming of age and going to college and then not coming back, and then some that never want to leave. So it's always interesting to be like, what drives that, your desire to be here or not. I'm in the category of, I would be happy never to leave. Like I do travel a lot, mainly for work type stuff. So it's not necessarily pleasure travel, but, I definitely, if I had to make a choice of traveling a lot or never ever traveling, I would go on the side of never ever traveling. I'd be happy to stay here forever. There's plenty of stuff that I enjoy doing here, and I wouldn't even have to go to another island. I would be happy just staying on the big island. So but that may be rooted also in the fact that until I was 18, I had probably only left the island maybe 3 times, maybe 4 times. Didn't travel much growing up, and until I left for boot camp, I mean, I didn't spend very much time off the island. So I got used to being here and never had any issues with island fever. And not with Amazon, you can get everything you ever wanted here in 2 days. So, why do you need to go anywhere else? So,
that's so, I'm so glad that you brought that up because, first of all, speaking from myself, actually, like you, I've been here my entire adult life. And so I've, it's been a long time, 40 plus years now. And, I'm on the Dylan side. I've got like reverse island fever. I don't want to leave. I don't want to get off the island. I mean, and yes, we go traveling. We went in March. We had this beautiful cruise that we went on. It was fantastic. We have family on the mainland that we go to and we occasionally visit. And I do these things not begrudgingly or not resistantly. I do them, willingly, and I enjoy them, whatever. But like Dylan, if like some, if some aliens from, if some external, if some aliens came in and they destroyed our aircraft transportation network and said you can no longer fly anywhere, or better yet, the environmentalists, they took out aircraft because it's killing the earth, and you said, okay, you can't fly anywhere. I'm good. I'm right here. I don't need to go anywhere, and don't need to go anywhere. I'm perfectly happy. Dylan, it's kind of funny. When I was, I don't know, at some point in time, a long time ago in Hawaii, I discovered that there's a lot of local folks that not only have they never gone to the mainland, and this blew me away. Actually, this did blow me. Not only have they never gone to the mainland, but they've never gone to any other island. There's a bunch of folks that have never gotten off the island ever their entire life. That really kind of floored me when I first.
Yeah, when I was a senior in high school, we went on a school trip to Oahu, and about half of the kids that came with us never had left the island. Like it was like their first time going to Oahu. So, and still to this day, actually, I went to jiu-jitsu tournament on Oahu this weekend. I brought one of the kids from our club, and she had never left. It took her 3 tries to get through TSA because she'd never been through TSA before. So I didn't realize, I took for granted. My kids know how to go through TSA, but she had to, take the phone out and then buzz again and take something else out and then buzz again and take something else out. And I was like, oh my goodness, I never even thought I had to coach her through this this process.
Isn't that funny? That is so funny, right? That is so
2 points. I will never ever imagine myself not living here. So I guess in that retrospect, I would have to choose here, because I would be horribly depressed if I ever had to live somewhere else. The other thing, though, if all aircrafts had shut down, say bye to Amazon. You're looking at like 6 to 8 weeks for your packages to come via ship. Then I might feel a little claustrophobic.
True.
Ashley, you just weren't.
That was back in the old days. That was the big reason you left the island, was to do school shopping, right? Like family would save all year to go to Oahu so you could go to the mall and do school shopping, because we didn't have Walmart and Costco and all that stuff when I was growing up. So now, it's not an issue to have to shop somewhere else.
Yeah,
Amazon
Ashley
wasn't here for a while, so when we would get packages, it would take a while. And I will say that was a very good point. Knowing that it feels like you're a little less isolated, that things can get to you. It still doesn't come, just so you know, guys, Amazon Prime does not actually have 2-day shipping or overnight shipping here. Very, very rarely. It still can take, a week to get something that says it's Prime, but it's still fairly instant overall.
Well, look, I want
you have extremists like my wife. Like, she would not just not leave the island. She would just not leave her house ever. Like, she has Costco delivered to our home, with Instacart now. So it's like she doesn't even leave to go to Costco. So I mean, there's a whole nother level of the spectrum there.
Oh man, that's really funny. That's a good one. That is a good one. Hey, I want to chime in with them, but first I want to give a shout out to Tim Kim, who gave a fantastic comment. As long as your 7-Eleven has better poke than some of the high-end restaurants over here on the mainland, I don't think I'll ever want to move back once I get there. Tim, that is a damn good point, buddy. I don't
know if I would be buying poke from 7-Eleven. I got some better recommendations for you, man. Hit me up.
I mean, to Tim's point, Tim, you can just go right down the street, go to Foodland. And Foodland's poke selection is fabulous. I mean, it's not like a Tamashiro's or whatever, or like a killer fish place, but you can get fabulous poke over at Foodland. Every bit as good as like the best restaurants, because they, because everybody gets their local fish from the same place. That's the big hairy secret, right? Everybody on Oahu, certainly on Oahu, gets their fresh ahi from one and only one place, and that's the fish auction that's downtown. Everyone goes to the fish auction. And so it's just a matter of what kind of great fish. So anyway, I wanted to mention something, Ashley, you brought all this stuff up. It's like, girl, back in the 80s, there was no Costco. There was no Amazon, right? These things just did not exist. And so you did whatever furniture was available locally, that's the furniture that you got. Whatever hardware was at City Mill, that's the hardware that you got. There was no such thing as Amazon. Frankly, even back then, Ashley, here's a trippy one. Back then, 800 numbers did not work from Hawaii. You could not dial an 800 number if it went to the mainland. It did not work. It did not work. And a little more blast from my past here. On Mother's Day, you had to call mom on the mainland super, super early in the morning, because when you got into kind of peak time, like after 9 a.m., you get the all circuits are busy. All circuits are busy, because people would be calling to the mainland to talk to their mom, and all circuits. There's only so many circuits. There's back when there's like wires, back before it was digital. So a lot of things. I'll tell you something just to kind of roll all this up over here. By the way, if you're listening, if you got some old memories or examples about Hawaii that you've noticed that have changed, please pop them in. I'm really curious to kind of see what you folks have got to say about that. Tim says, yeah, conscious thing at the time. Otherwise it would have been food then. Yeah. I mean, Tim, your point is the right one. The point is the right one. You could get like great poke from like a crappy store on the corner better than like the best restaurants. That's the point. And I love it. What I wanted to say was that one of the greatest luxuries of my life in Hawaii, one of the greatest luxuries of all, has been Costco, and not just specifically Costco, but this in particular. As a not native Greek, but as a Greek, as a full Greek with 2 Greek parents, Greek immigrant parents, I really, really missed Greek food, because there is no Greek food to speak of in Hawaii. I've been to all the restaurants and they all suck. What you could not get in Hawaii You could not get two things. You could not get feta cheese. You could not get feta, and you could not get Kalamata olives. Those are two things that were like, just forget it. It's on the other side of the planet. Now, Costco has like the best feta in the world. It's organic feta from Greece, and it's in freaking Costco. And you can get a gigantic jar of Kalamata olives in Costco. And thank God for capitalism. The olives are like $10, and the feta's like 10 or 15 bucks, 25 lousy dollars, and I get food from around the world that I couldn't even possibly imagine how to get. So anyway, it's a long ass rant about.
I heard that there's an article, and we can go maybe over on a show, that Costco in Hawaii is, one, the busiest Costco in the world is in Hawaii, and two, they have some of the best Costcos in the world. We should make a show one time about the reasons why.
We need to do a Costco tour. We should do like a deal with Costco. It's just kind of walk through the Costco store.
I have a friend that works there and said the one down on Nimitz does like over $1 million a day in revenue. Like and sometimes like in the busy seasons, like $2 million a day. It's crazy.
I think that's the busiest one in the world.
Yeah.
I just saw an article about it.
Just think about that, $1 million a day. Like how many
a day?
You know,
a day. A day.
It's crazy.
Well, yeah, it's not hard to do the math, right? Because I'm going to bet the average cart at Costco has got to be like $250. There's like the Costco curse. Have you heard of the Costco curse? You cannot get out of Costco spending less than $200. That's Costco curse.
That's how inflation is. Like when Costco first came to the Big Island, it was like you couldn't go to Costco and not spend $100. And then a few years later, it seemed like you couldn't go to Costco and not spend $200. And today, it's like if you go to Costco, it's like you're almost going to spend $500 every time you go. It's crazy. But that's like how inflation has kicked in over the years. So
yeah, it's so.
Oh, I found a quick article about their 19 reasons why Hawaii has the best Costco. We have the Big Island Bees organic honey. We have the Punaluu Bake Shop traditional sweet bread, fresh poke daily. We've got macadamia nut ice cream and obviously chocolates. We've got poi, local poi. We've got local beers, local Aloha shirts. We got like a lot of like dried aku chips, and we've got superfood spirulina, pure Hawaiian supplements. There's a lot of local products that the Costco here supports, and I don't know if it's like that everywhere. Is it like isolated to what that region or area?
We have Kathleen salsa over here. It's a Big Island salsa. I don't know if you guys have that in Oahu, but it's like amazing, like fresh salsa. But yeah,
it's one of the things. It's in Costco. Well, we could have a whole show about Costco.
This big, so you can just eat like that and chips for dinner. You can just drink the salsa down.
I think we can have a show just talking about why we love Costco. What an amazing organization. Okay, let's not get too distracted over here. So Michael Lotta jumped in and said, hey, first time we went to Hawaii, we saw a 4th of July parade in Kailua that was charming. Not sure if they still do that. Yes, Michael, they still do. And that is a huge tradition. The Kailua 4th of July parade is I think, Dylan, you would know better than most because it's very much a political thing as well. It is unique, I believe, in Hawaii in terms of it is a politician's elephant walk. If you're in your public, go ahead.
In election years, it's right before the primary election. So you have like every political candidate in the state that has a float. So that drives like almost like 50% of the stuff. But yes, it is a kind of connected to politics.
You're muted.
Thank you. It is a very unique thing in Hawaii, the Kailua parade. So yes, Michael, it is. That's not going to go away for a long. As long as we have elected officials in primary seasons, we're going to be having the Kailua parade. I agree. Tim says $100 is just for condiments. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, for Costco, $100 for, yeah. Well, it just takes one or two, gigantic. And of course I buy, okay, we're going to get into Costco again. I don't want to get into Costco. Okay. Thank you, Tim. That was a great comment. Great comment. Why don't we do this? Actually, Ashley, I was able, let's see if I could show this correctly here. Yes, I was able. Thank you, Ashley. Thanks to you. I was able to show, it's not a very well magnified picture there, but let's see if I could, there we go. Crop that. Live cropping while you watch. There we go. Ashley, you want to comment on this?
This platform, Peter.
What's that?
You're so talented on this platform.
Many years of geekness. So you want to tell us about this picture, Ashley?
I wish I could remember names because they were so fun and they were so easy to hang out with. They got right in there. We just literally threw it out there a week before Earth Day, and I did a video on it, and they saw it and they jumped in. And at the very end, I didn't know, what that they had come from. Some came from Instagram, some came from our brokerage, and then they're like, oh, they mentioned the Aloha Friday show, and then they were part of your organization, and they're like, but we're not social, so we don't plug in. And I was like, you guys are the most easy people to talk to, and they were so much fun. I encouraged them to plug in because they were a joy, and I was really grateful that they came and hung out with us. And so that's husband and wife right there, onto the bottom right. And I just to give perspective, I don't know what's going on with me with names, and I'm gonna blame it on pregnancy, because I guess you can do that. But like, I was calling my sister the wrong name yesterday, who's visiting. I called my assistant the wrong name and introduced him, and not even remotely close to his name either. So please don't take offense if you're watching the show right now. I'm so sorry. I'm just really bad with names.
Hey, now, wait a second. You just kind of threw something out there. You just kind of threw something out there, actually. And you said it, so I'm going to focus on it. I got to ask about it. You said you attribute this to pregnancy. What does that mean exactly, Ashley? Care to expand?
I hear that, people kind of have some
Are you
memory
pregnant?
loss.
Are you pregnant? Are you
No,
pregnant? That's the
no,
question.
no, no,
Okay.
no. I'm blaming
All
this
right.
from 8. My daughter just turned 9 yesterday, so I'm blaming this from a
Okay.
decade
Well,
ago.
okay. All
Good.
right. I thought maybe, you're kind of losing it because you're pregnant, which would be wonderful.
No, I would be really shocked if so.
Which would be wonderful. I'll tell you something, Ashley, really, to circle back. If you don't want to leave Hawaii, listen to me carefully, because I speak to you from experience. If you don't want to leave Hawaii, do not send your daughter to college on the mainland. Do not send your daughter to college on the mainland.
No, I know.
There's a very, very good chance she's going to go there. Well, okay. Another story altogether. Let's do diamonds and deals, man. We just been all over the damn place. We got all kinds of show ideas here. We got a Costco show. We've got a Dylan fashion show. And we're going to talk about, how to keep your kids from leaving you when they grow up in Hawaii. But why don't we do this, gang? Let's move on. Next slide, please. Diamonds and deals. Let's talk about what we got going over here. Heidi, unfortunately, has not been able to reconnect with us, which is, as soon as she comes in, everybody, I will make sure we reconnect with Heidi. She is not here. Why don't we do this over here? Look, that looks like your property. Ashley, fill us in. This looks really, really cool.
I was looking for properties for a client, and I came across this one, and it was my girlfriend actually brought it up to me, and it is just anything that has its own little private beach. I'm here for it. I love it. This is facing like Kaneohe Bay, and it's a 3-bedroom, 3.5 bath. It's got a large lot, 24,000 square feet. So an acre is 34,560 feet. So perspective wise, it's almost an acre on the water with its own little private beach for under $4 million. And this house is modern. It's completely redone. It is part of a condominium project regime, so a CPR. And with that, you may not be able to build another structure on it without approval from everyone in the CPR. But if not, you still have this large, gorgeous lot that's all facing the water, and you can just push out your boat or your kayak. And I put the view, even though the interior was so gorgeous, I only have room for 3 pictures here. So I just decided, what do you want to be knowing you're looking out at? And you get to go look at Chinaman's Hat. It's a tiny, tiny, tiny little island after the trees off to the right. It's such a cool property. This is listed by Shelly and Naoko and House Plus LLC. So that's the brokerage name. I love it. I want someone to buy this. I want to bring a buyer for this because I want to come over and have dinner with them vicariously and parties in their yard, because this is this is truly a diamond.
Truly. Talk about, you want to talk about a priceless, even though this has a price, priceless properties that, there is only so many of these kinds of properties. There is only so many of these kinds. And, it's $4 million. But man, if you can get this, God, having your own private beach, your own house with these coconut trees on the lot and all this kind of stuff. And it's a nice looking interior too, like you said. So it's really
and
cool.
almost an
It's amazing.
acre. It's hard enough
Almost
to get a
yeah,
10,000
3/4
square
acre.
foot lot on
Right.
Oahu. Like
Right.
never mind a waterfront, almost an acre for, you know, under 4 million. And I'm just saying it hasn't been on market for very long, but it has been for a few weeks. So if you are interested, let me know.
This is
And
it, gang.
let's see what we can do.
Let's do it. Hey, Island or Ohana, let's do Oahu and get this thing, man. Big, huge party house. You know, you want to talk about like, man, now you want to talk about a property that I wouldn't want to leave the property. That's a good one, Dylan. Like your wife, like Monica, right? It's like, man, wouldn't want to get off the property. Just order it Instacart. Ship it to me with Instacart because I don't care about anything else. I'll take my feta. And my olives, Instacart. Thank you. And I'll just stay on this idyllic island. So really cool. Yeah. Looks fabulous. Fabulous. Hey, Alex, welcome back, buddy. Alex Backman, another Island or Ohana member. Welcome back, Alex. Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for chiming in. All right, let's move on. Dylan, Dylan, you don't do these too often. What's this?
Yeah, this is just a stunner. So this is an oceanfront condo. I mean, you can see from the kitchen there, you can see the ocean in the background from the bedroom upstairs. You're just like looking right into the water, and that's the lanai. You can see the water is literally right there. And for luxury condos on the Kona coast, this one is by far the lowest price per square foot. And this thing is huge, right? 2,400 square feet for a condo, 3 bedrooms, 3 baths. These don't come on the market very often. You can vacation rent them. It's got great vacation rental history, but just a total diamond and pretty much a deal. If you're looking for a $3 million deal, price per square foot is lower than any other. And a lot of the other luxury condos are not oceanfront like this. They're on luxury golf courses or away from the water and not just right there. So, you know, sound of the ocean all day long. You can whale watch right from your lanai, and pretty much most of the rooms in the unit have that ocean view that are on the ocean side. So it's killer.
If I was to use a Dylanism, I would call this a ridiculous property. This property is absolutely ridiculous. I mean,
I don't know. I'm kind of ashamed because for 3.8, I can get a house in Oahu with a private beach. So I mean, it's all a matter of perspective, you know. So I thought I had a deal here, but man, and 2,400 square feet of land is crazy. So
you know,
I know. I was gonna say this is the first time I think I truly picked like this. I feel like it's a little bit more bang for the buck, and it's always Big Island.
Might have been beat today.
Man, I'll tell you. Hey, look, you know what? I was thinking the exact same thing, Dylan, as you're bringing. I mean, this is stunning, right? I mean, look, you're practically on the water, right? It's not just oceanfront. Like the house itself is oceanfront, which is ridiculous, right? So that's kind of cool. But you look at this is also stunning as well. So I want to hear from everybody else. I want to hear from you, gang. So what do you think? I'd like to know because they're almost the same price. What would you rather have? Would you rather have this beachfront property on Oahu, or would you rather have this, which is a beachfront condo on the Big Island? What would you rather have?
Well, I will say to add to that question that the condo you can short-term rent it. The house, you have to do 30-day rentals or longer. So that is a pro, but the condo does have a maintenance fee and an HOA fee, and the house does not. The condo, you don't have to deal with exterior maintenance, but the house, you have a large usable lot.
Pros and cons.
Spoken as a professional realtor, right there. Dylan, you want to do any, since we're doing pros and cons, Dylan, you want to do any pros and cons or maybe the contrast between the two from that perspective? Anything you want to add to that one?
Well, exterior maintenance of a home near the water is a huge con. I mean, anybody who's ever owned, I mean, anything that's metal rusts regularly. I mean, the roof's got to be replaced all the time. All your appliances die all the time. So, I mean, it is rough. Even oceanfront condos. That's the salty air. There's nothing you can do to prevent that. And so there is a huge. I think the romantic idea of living on the water is romantic, but I would only just want to rent there and do a couple of weeks and then go live somewhere else because the maintenance, every time we've had clients that are oceanfront, I mean, that's a huge issue. So it's always
maintenance.
If you can pay the 3.8, you could probably handle the cost of maintenance, but it's a big consideration.
It's a strong point. I will say this one, to your point, Dylan, which is true. I lived on the water in Hauula, and I would have to put towels and stuff like that over my TVs and electronics just for the salt air. The pro to this is it is on the bay, so it's all reef protected. There's not a lot of tide shifts. This doesn't really have waves or anything of that nature that's splashes up. So it's fairly calm year round. So yeah, you'll still have that salty air, which happens even a bit inland as well. But good point.
Okay, those votes are coming in. Let's do a quick assessment of who wants what. Let's see. Alex says absolutely beautiful beachfront condo. Yeah, okay. And he also says, yeah, house of lots of work, condos less maintenance. That I don't know if it's less maintenance. I think it's just less maintenance that you have to worry about because you're paying it through the condo association. You know, rust affects everybody, but that's a good point though, Alex. And then Michael says Oahu property every day. What about you folks? What would you go for? Would you go for the Oahu beachfront property or would you rather go for the Beyond property? I'll tell you one thing, Dylan, words, truer words were never spoken. And as Ashley has attested, beachfront homes are just a maintenance, a mambo, everything gets rusted. I had a friend who lived in Haleiwa and he lived on the water, and he had because he was also a technology guy, and he had a dedicated bedroom in his home that was permanently sealed. A climate controlled, dehumidified, humidified, all that kind of crap, because electronic components, of course, get blown away in no time. Computer components, especially back then. So yeah, that's
worth it.
Worth it. Well, I mean, what you do, hey, first of all, if I could afford a $3.5 million house, preferably cash, if I could afford that, I don't need to work. The hell with technology. I don't need any technology. And who wants it? I wouldn't want it.
You can buy a new computer every year if you need to.
Or buy a new computer every year. Yeah, the hell with it. Exactly. Worth it. Tim says, go with the house. The term special assessment fee has always scared me off from condos. That is a scary and there's a lot of those going on right now.
Let me inject though. There's also special assessments on homes when you got to replace your roof once every 20 or 30 years, and you get hit with a $50,000 bill. You're just prepaying for those things that are going to happen as a homeowner. So I think yes, in the net cost, is it probably more because you got to pay for management, other things, absolutely. But in the long run, it all works out the same because you're going to have to paint your house every 10 or 15 years and do all kinds of other landscaping maintenance. So the costs are always there. You don't get away from them. You just pay them differently.
Dylan, that's exactly what I tell my wife because, we live in a single family home and my wife is like, every so often she brings up the topic of go to a condo. I'm like, yeah, we can go to a condo if you want. You think you're going to save money, but you're really not. You're just, that $20,000 roof that we have to kind of fix or the $15,000 paint job that we got to do. Yeah, it's cost money. But, had we set aside a maintenance fee of our own and assessed ourselves our own maintenance fee, you would have just paid for it.
I do that with my rentals. The income that I make on my rentals, I have that in its own account and I don't touch it. And I essentially keep it aside as a maintenance fee. So when I need to do the roof or I need to do a major plumbing job, it's its own little reserve.
That's a smart way to do it. So it doesn't kill your cash flow, and you've already kind of incrementally set aside your squirreled away the nuts to pay for that. Hey, Tiffany Champagne, realtor and relocation agent on the Big Island. Tiffany, thanks for joining us. House with acreage to grow food and private beach is nice. Too bad it's not on the Big Island. Well, it's on Oahu. It's on Oahu. And
I wanted to do a quick plug because I know agents watch this show also, right? Ashley and I and our crew are doing a big conference in 2 weeks on Oahu, May 7th and 8th, called Build, and it's 2 to 6 in the afternoon. So if you're interested at all in real estate or just business and mindset, it's going to be a great event at the Sheraton in Waikiki, and you come and hang out with Ashley and I and a bunch of our friends. But if you're interested in that, reach out to us. We can get you some special discounts if you're not a realtor, or if you're thinking about getting into the business. We have some discounts for guests and stuff like that. So reach out to us. But it'll be a fun time.
Thank you for bringing that up. And he's being modest. Dylan is a speaker. He's one of the big speakers there. So he's going to be on stage.
All right. Yes. Hey, Dylan, I wish you would have brought a poster or whatever. We could have kind of thrown it on the screen and given you a moment to kind of like.
Yeah, we can put it on the social media. But just want to throw it out there. I know there's a lot of interested real estate folks that watch the show. So come hang out with us.
So when is this going to happen again now? When?
May 7th and 8th, and it's 2 to 6 in the afternoon. So it's not all day. It's just 4-hour sessions in the afternoon. There's some networking and stuff before and after, but it's a real estate conference basically. But we're bringing in a bunch of amazing speakers from the mainland who will be coming in and talking about all these different aspects. I mean, investing, mindset, just how to do more sales. But a lot of it is applicable to all business, not just, you know, specifically real estate. So if you're on a network with good people, it's a good opportunity.
And this is going to be on Oahu or Big Island?
Oahu, Sheraton, Waikiki.
Oh, awesome.
This was formatted specifically because it's so unaffordable for realtors to travel, because there's big conferences and out of state. And a lot of people weren't joining, like from Dylan's team and our team. Like, we maybe have a handful of people that would come out of 100,000 realtors. And so Dylan and some of the others in the company decided to bring this conference here at the Sheraton Waikiki. And so people from even the West Coast should come over and check it out. But it's meant to hold a capacity of several hundred agents, and they're going to go over AI. They're going to go over the NAR lawsuit. They're going to go over helping people just structure their business. And like Dylan said, just hang out and have incredible networking. It's a really fun conference. It'll be a lot of good info.
Sounds like a blast. I wish you guys well with that. All right. Hey, let us move on. It is time. We are coming to a closing moment of the show here, folks. Closing thoughts. Give us your closing motivational thoughts, and we'd love to hear from you. Oh, hey, a quick shout out to Bernard. Aloha, everyone. A condo for me, and see you soon. Aloha, Hawaii. Excellent. Wonderful. Bernard is also a member of our Island Ohana. Good to see you, buddy. And looking forward to seeing you. You and I are going to get together and have a coffee for sure and talk about AI stuff. So anyway, let's move on. Closing motivational thoughts. If you got any, please share with us. Ashley, what's yours? And what does it mean to you?
If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. I think a lot of us have... it can mean several things, but a lot of us kind of get maybe competitive. And I think that's the natural take, is if you learn something, to kind of hold it tight and, you know, make sure that you keep your trade secrets and whatever you're doing. And yes, you can go fast if you go alone like that. But if you share and you have a mindset of abundance and you bring people close to you and you spread your knowledge, your information, and your time amongst others and teaching them and growing together, you'll go further.
Well said. Well said. Very, very true. It's always about teamwork is cool.
Teamwork
and nice.
Teamwork.
Very well put. Very concise. Excellent. Thank you, Ashley. Let's see, Dylan. What's yours?
Yeah, I saw this the other day. I just love it. Don't let success go to your head, and don't let failure go to your heart. It's pretty simple mindset where it's easy. It's always important to be humble and keep things in perspective, but it's also very important not to let the setbacks go to your heart. Keep those in your head and get over them and move on quickly.
You know, it's really funny, Dylan, that you bring that up, because the don't let success go to your head, you know, that is a hell of a lot harder than it sounds. I have worked, not only can I admit to have failed on that miserably myself, but I have worked with a lot of people. I've worked with a lot of CEOs, and I've seen a lot of people go from kind of zero to hero, and it ain't so hero, because things change, people's change. And when people come into wealth or success, it really actually truly not exposes, it really kind of brings out kind of who they really are. And it's not always what you think it is. So that is well said. And don't let failure go to your heart, because you got to be able to, as an entrepreneur, you got to be able to bounce back 1,000,000 times over. You got to be able to bounce back. The only time you fail is when you give up. So thank you, Dylan. That's a great one. That is a great one. All right. We're going to finish up with mine, of course. I got to go this way okay, there we go. Of course, Proverbs, better is a dinner of herbs where love is than a fatted ox and hatred with it. Which is to say that, you know, it's, you know, the fatted ox is well, it's not too far off from what you're saying, Dylan, right? The fatted ox is like wealth and success and, you know, a luxury. But if there's hatred with it, if there's negativity with it, it's useless. Better to have a dinner with just herbs, like, you know, grass, you know, or salad, if it's with love, much better. And so I love Proverbs. All right, folks, I think that's going to be it. I'm going to give a quick hello here. Thanks again for Alex. Thank you for great closing thoughts. Have a great weekend, everybody. Indeed. Have a great weekend, everybody. We are going to see you all in 2 weeks. I hope you had a great time. I know we did. Despite Heidi, we apologize for the technical difficulties, but why don't we do this? Let's say goodbye counterclockwise. Dylan and then Ashley. Say goodbye.
Hello, everybody. Have an awesome weekend.
Have a great weekend, everyone. Aloha.
Aloha, folks. Have a great one. I'm so glad you're all here. See you folks in 2 weeks. Aloha.